Gege and the Jujutsu Kaisen series aren't afraid of killing fan favorite characters, but there's one character that has so much wasted potential just because he chose the wrong path, and that is Geto. So that's why, even after his death, we'll talk about just how strong Geto could have become if he had not died during Jujutsu Kaisen 0. Spoilers ahead. Geto was already one of the strongest characters in his verse, where he was designated as a special grade sorcerer with the likes of Gojo and Yuki, and the only one who was able to defeat him was a newer special grade named Yuta, whom Gojo deemed would surpass him. While most of the time people thought that Geto fell off after he was defeated by Toji, you could not comprehend the power he actually has. For starters, in Jujutsu Kaisen 0, during what was deemed the night parade of 100 demons, he had so many cursed spirits that he was able to attack two places at the same time, Kyoto and Shinjuku. These cursed spirits weren't fathered either, because if you watch the anime, a lot of the sorcerers died during that time. It was even stated that Todo alone fought 5 grade 1 cursed spirits and 1 special grade cursed spirit. Based on the manga, grade 1 cursed spirits can't even be defeated by a tank, while it is still not sure if cluster bombs will defeat special grades. So when you look at it, with his cursed spirit manipulation, he has an entire army that's loyal to him. So far, there have been at least 9 special grades in his or Kenjaku's arsenal, 10 if you include the one that Todo killed. Toji also exercised another 2, which leaves him with 7. Most importantly, 2 of them are previous characters in the series, Mahito and Tegan. But let's go back in time a bit. If Geto didn't face Yuta, he wouldn't have been taken over by Kenjaku. But the most curious thing would be, what if he did defeat Yuta? Well, he would have taken Rika, arguably the second strongest cursed spirit in the entire verse, just behind Sukuna. Although Sukuna isn't even a cursed spirit to begin with, that's because she isn't called the Queen of Curses for nothing. If Geto had gotten Rika, then he would have been on a whole nother level, seeing as Rika's attack in JJK 0 was strong enough to defeat his maximum Uzumaki, the strongest attack within the cursed spirit manipulation technique. Geto also mentioned that with Rika, he would be able to achieve his goals, so let's assume that those happen. He'll kill Yuta and get Rika and is able to escape. This means that in the original series, Geto has more time to grow his organization, and when Jogo's group of unregistered special grades pop up on his radar, he will be the first to act. Sure, Jogo is super strong to the point where he was able to summon an entire meteor when he was fighting Sukuna, but with Geto's intelligence, he might just have the perfect chance to absorb them. Remember when Gojo beat Jogo and he escaped with Hanami? If Geto was still alive and observing the scene, he would be able to find a weakened Jogo and absorb him, not to mention he'd be able to fight Hanami and possibly absorb him as well. And yes, he can definitely beat Hanami, because Hanami was already having some trouble fighting Yuji and Todo, who aren't special grade sorcerers. This leaves just Daigon and Mahito left in the current timeline. So how would he get them? Well, for starters, it's quite easy to find Daigon. You see, Daigon was friends with Jogo and Hanami, and seeing them die might make him lose his mind and start a rampage, ultimately eating civilians and evolving from being a cursed womb to a special grade cursed spirit. Before Jujutsu sorcerers could appear, however, Geto would arrive first and claim Daigon for herself. You see, even if Daigon was able to defeat Nanami and Nabito, who are grade 1 sorcerers, he still has no chance against Geto. Geto would just use Rika, arguably the strongest cursed spirit in his arsenal, which was not only strong enough to propel Yuta to being a special grade, but even made Gojo feel like she was a threat he had to take care of immediately. As he lowers Daigon's strength and absorbs him, he adds another powerful cursed spirit to his roster, and all that's left is Mahito. We all know Mahito likes to stray away from the group here and there, like how he fought Nanami alone. So let's say Geto didn't manage to catch him this time around since he wasn't with Daigon. A more interesting take on this is that Geto, just like Kenjaku, is waiting for Mahito to reach his full potential before absorbing him. You could see that after the Shibuya arc, when Kenjaku arrived, Mahito said he always knew he had plans for him, and that's when Kenjaku absorbed him. However, This won't just be possible, since Geto knew nothing about Mahito and his hidden potential. This would mean that Geto will target him once more and possibly capture and absorb him after Mahito's fight against Kento Nanami in the sewers. Another crazy thing Geto could do is capture Sukuna's fingers. Yup, we all know that when a cursed spirit, even if it's the weakest fodder in existence, eats one of Sukuna's fingers, they become a special grade. So what if Geto hunted down Sukuna's fingers and fed them to his strongest cursed spirit? This would give him a massive advantage and possibly even have the ability to overwhelm Gojo. Let's say he has 10. He feeds Raika 1. The 4 unregistered special grade cursed spirits 1 each, and the other 5 1 each. It's 5, not 6, since he hasn't absorbed Tegan as of now. These cursed spirits will have an evolution of sorts and be much more dangerous. He now has the ability to take over entire nations, as in the manga Gansha. A special grade cursed spirit that attacks concepts and removes obstacles was enough to convince the US that they had no chance against Jujutsu sorcerers. With this boost in power, there's even a chance that we'll get to see Geto finally be able to learn domain expansion. He has limitless power and an army of cursed spirits ready to cause chaos. At this point, Geto is above the level Yuta had reached, and quite possibly is on par with the likes of Yuki and Gojo. Not to mention, if Geto does get to learn the reverse curse technique, which is possible because through Raika, Yuta was also able to understand how it worked, then he will probably defeat most of the characters in the entire verse except for Gojo and Sukuna. I say that because when Gojo and Sukuna fought, they were just spamming domains left and right. In the Shibuya arc, Gojo's 0.2 second domain expansion quite literally gave him the ability to wipe out all the transfigured humans. He might not win against Gojo, but Geto would be the third strongest in the entirety of Jujutsu Kaisen, and if he plays things right, he might just be able to wipe out a huge portion of the entire human population. Geto would be a walking disaster that has an army of cursed spirits ready to take some bloods. Remember guys, that is just how I see if Geto reached his full potential, but if you have another theory, please put them in the comments because I would love to read them as I scroll through. However, if you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Let me know in the comments as well just how strong do you think Geto would be once again, and if he actually could be the strongest if he reached his full potential. See you on the next one.